What? No, it's in an hour, right? Wait, hold on a second. This is gonna be in an hour. These people are here now. What's going on? They don't tell me anything around here. I don't believe it. You guys are supposed to be here in an hour, and you're here now. Okay, well, so I have to... Okay. Hi, my name's John Skippy Lemcool, and welcome to a new library introduction. Are you sure it's not an hour? Okay. Sorry, I'm just a little flustered. I wasn't expecting you guys to be here already, but I'm kidding. I'm just trying to have fun. When you sit and talk to a computer by yourself all the time, you got to think of different ways to do this. You know what I'm saying? So this is called OmniPulse. It is a library for Omnisphere that is nothing but rhythmic, BPM, tempo synced, pulsing, arpeggiated nirvana. I love rhythm. So this was a very fun library to make, and there's a whole lot of creative, crazy stuff in here to play with. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction to some of the patches. By the way, 95% of the patches that I've ever made for any of my power packs are from scratch, from an initialized. I sit with a machine, I go initialize, yes. And that's how I start every sound. I don't want any sound to be connected to another sound. So just so you know, when you're buying a library from me, any of my libraries, at my website, pluginguru.com, there's my little plug, gotta have a little plug. They're from scratch. You're buying you want new sounds, so I have to create new sounds from scratch. That's just my number one rule. So OmniPulse is 90 patches. I'm going to give you a tour of some of these. To start with, there's a lot of BPM basses. And I'll be popping up drums every now and then. My library, Mega Macho Drums, before this update, it was just one page with a drum kit. And you could load all these different drum kits, and there's really cool drum kits, and they're all consolidated. So this, if you own Mega Macho Drums, this looks different than what you're used to seeing. But what I'm really, really excited about, I started this in June, and Plugin Guru is just me. I have a script programmer, a wonderful guy named Aaron Frinsley, and I have a graphics designer named Jeffrey Martell. And working together with them, we have made Mega Macho Drums. And in the last 6 months, Aaron especially has had to do a lot of research into making a MIDI groove player. And it's done, and it's built in to Mega Macho Drums. And it can be set to auto, so that when you start your sequencer, it starts and plays along. When you hit stop, it stops. And I'm going to do a video after this showing this. So I'm not going to go crazy on this because this is all about Omnisphere right now. But you're going to hear drums. They're from my own library. They're my own drum sounds that I made. My history with drums is rather extensive. I've got drum loop libraries from 15 years ago. And for the last 25 years, a good majority of, especially the dance drum sounds that you hear in Korg synthesizers, came from yours truly. So this Mega Macho Drums is a library I'm really proud to have. I'm really proud to support it and to keep working on it. I've always aimed at December being when the final version would be real. I had 2 updates in between that had new kits and stuff like that. So when you hear drums, it's coming from Mega Macho Drums. All right, so here's Black Horse, which... Big sub. Cross wire. That's cool. Here's Dark, Toggle Vox. Eurovox. I'm almost ready to hit play on drums, but I won't. Ethno Woody Pulse. Let it load. Evil Arrival. This is actually based on Mordor, the bass from Omniverse 2, but now it's rhythmic, and it's really cool. I made it like a march. The mod wheel. What's interesting with this, actually, if you go over here and turn off the big reverb, you got a huge sub bass analog thing. So make sure you turn off effects sometimes and check things out, especially here, because the reverb is 100%. So the sound is going 100% through reverb. And you can bring down the mix some. If you want that. But I wanted the 100% for the way that it's presented. So. Heavyweight Fender. Loudmouthed Up. This is cool. This is using actually a mod envelope. I'll show you the trick to this one because it's kind of cool. So it's just a cool LFO, right? That's like blah, 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 blah. But if you see, the rate has been modulated, and it's being modulated over here on the mod page by number 1. And if you click on these, it shows timing values instead of like your normal levels and so forth. That's because it's set to modify the rate of a synced LFO. And if you're familiar with Massive, this is a technique that's used a lot for a lot of the dubstep kind of basses in Massive, where uses this called the Performer, that can have separate steps that can be changing the rate of different LFOs to make the dubstep type of stuff. So I did the same thing here. So when you play a note, it's making this timing pattern. I clicked on this and changed it up to it's like 30-second notes. So you have a whole timing range to work with. So there's a trick for you. If you assign a synced LFO to a modulation envelope, these values become not level things, but they become timing things. So there's something new you might not have known about. Tight Money. This is kind of fun. Another trick that a lot of you might not know about is that under the modulation sources, there are modulation sources to change envelope times. So if you click here, you can actually change filter, and there's actually a bell patch later where I change the amp release time. This one here is decay. So as I play this, if I move the mod wheel up, it gets tight. It down, it's loose. If you go between, got a kick-ass track, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the stuff you can do. So here's another dubstep kind of thing. This is using a big pitch sweepy thing. There's a pitch. Stealth Ninjas are really cool. This is a sine wave with a 3 octave on the arpeggiator. So you just play one note, and each note has to go up one more octave to the top and then back down. And I have it to as played so you can... Oh, that's right. There's no trick in here. Watch. 1, 2. I hadn't used the reversed Pulse Lfo, and I wanted to use that. So I set it up to be 4 times. 2, 3. Here we go. And if you catch that at the right time with the mod wheel, it's killer. Watch. And in a track, it's really great. Crimson, I used one of the hit type sounds that's got random stuff going on, and then randomize the sample start. So you... Ninja Die, which means boss. Edge of Ecstasy is where it really gets interesting. It's a very, very complex patch. There's, well, here, I'll play it. So there's a pulsing mod thing. There's a thing controlling the LFO depth. That's another LFO that's random. So the 30-second notes come in whenever they want and go away whenever they want. Just great stuff. Magical Sleigh Bells for it's Christmas time, so I thought, well, we might. And I came up with these sounds. And, you know, when you're searching through samples, and all of a sudden you hit something, you go, "Hey, that'd be really cool for sleigh bells." Doesn't happen often, but so Merry Christmas, and it's really cool. Now, all these patches, just be aware, if you go over to the arpeggiator and turn it off, a good number of them are hidden, really cool programs. So you can play them however you want. So make sure that it's like you get 2 patches for one. So instead of 90, it's 180 patches. Oh my gosh, I'm not charging enough money for this one. Random mirror ball. It's really cool. Sinkhole Cinema is very weird, but cool. Synchro, this is the bell patch. You can do all sorts of the EDM dance kind of style. All that 8th note triplet feel thing is really big right now. So let's see. Glasses off because I can't read the darn fine text without. Let's say. There we go. Simple, straight in. And this is the one where the mod wheel takes the release as well as other things up, so you can go from this eighth chakra. It's using the D50 bell sample patch. This is another really cool one to show you another trick. Someone was asking me, they're like, I figured out how to change the timing on the arpeggiator page, and I'd figured out how to go over to the LFOs and change the rate right here, but how do you do it to envelopes? Here it is pulsing and it's doing it to the certain tempo, right? How do you change it? Say you want to be half time or twice as fast or something like that. Can you do it? I said, yes. Right here under edit, you have unrepeat, which will turn off all the repeating stuff. Say half time or double time. So we say half time. So that's how you do it. Now here's a fun part of the library. I've been really experimenting with guitars a lot. Omniverse 2 had the guitars that were playable with pads. Here I added it to the arpeggiator, and there's 2 versions to a lot of these. There's the M and the ping pong. M is mono, so it's just a single guitar straight up. Sometimes a little delay, sometimes not. The ping pongs are kind of interesting because there's 2 guitar parts for both of these. All the guitar patches right here have 2 sound sources, and they're panned left and right. And then what I do is the B layer the echo's 100%. So that makes it so that when I play a note, there's a note on the left and then it pings on the right. Ping pong. Play a chord. And then you turn on the arpeggiator, which is what it defaults to. It's really fun. And there's a bunch of these. Muta is the muted guitar stuff. Here's the ping pong. And it's really wide. Nylonis is wonderful. This is the nylon guitar, and it sounds like a guy really busy with his fingers. And if you want to freak it out a little bit, you... Chicane? Anybody? Anyway, you get the idea. Ping pong. Stuff like that. Stratus is the strats. And people were asking for tips to the ARP section, which was interrupted last time by a phone call by Eric Persing in the tips video. As you can see, I'll point out a couple of things. There's a couple modes here. A very useful mode is as played. It kind of keeps track of what you play. If you have it just to up and down or one of the other standard types, it doesn't matter what order you play, it kind of ignores that, and it sees new notes and it kind of like starts over. Random is cool. It used to be one of my more favorites, but I like as played more. The repeat times 2 is really cool because it's especially good for the dance techno synth stuff. As played is a really great one. When you get to velocity and timing, this is showing your events, and you can control how long it is by the little blue bar right here. So you can watch as it goes by. Now here's your clock. So if I set it to 8, it's going to be halftime. So you can take these to halftime. Then the tricks are down here. You have, in this case, 16 16th notes. But you see some of these that are dragged over the top of notes that are off. And if a note is off, the rule is that you can hold down shift like this. You hold down your shift key, and you can drag to make this longer so it stays out and holds for that whole duration. And the whole thing, if you listen to guitar, it's long notes and short notes. You know, you start singing your guitar licks, and it's it's like fast and short and stuff. So you want to hold down shift and get used to changing to be from short to long. And if you alternate these to be short, long, short, like that, you get all sorts of... Turn these off and have this last one just hold out for the... Then length is going to shorten the whole sequence. Until they're all really short. And once you get really short, another trick is that now this sustaining over part is because of the amp release. So let's hit link, bring this down. Now it's short. Now before this, if I go over here and bring the length back up, this will exaggerate because the release kind of, it makes a release on everything. Even in those ones that are really short, they have that same amount of release. I've turned that off. So it's going to be more exaggerated. You hear that more. So there's some tricks. Another trick is if you want it to be a straight velocity, like I have up and down velocities, put it to key, and now it listens to how hard you play. And they're all the same. If you go the other way, now it doesn't matter what you play, it's listening to the arpeggiator. And then swing if you want it to be swinging. So you just bring this up to, say, like 0.4. And you're ready to go. So there's some tips. Stratus, here's ping pong. Okay, then we get to pianos. And I wanted a piano that was filmic in quality, but I didn't want it to be the same as the Omniverse 2 ones, because the Omniverse 2 libraries those pianos are really unique. And I came up with a really nice combination for a piano. If you turn the arpeggiator off, it's a... With the arpeggiator on, it's even better. This is where I'm using that repeat times 2. It's really cool. Dancing Rhodes is the Fender Rhodes, and it's actually the component Fender Rhodes. They actually pulled out the body from the tines. And I did a cool trick where I added a little bit of reduction, and then I actually modulated the reduction sample rate by key tracking. So that way I'd get different harmonic. Let me show you something really quick. On Mega Macho, it's really easy to go over here like to that kick. Which kick is it? It's that one. Let's turn on. We got set to drum. Watch this. Let's go to punch. Suck the body out and give you more attack. So here's without it. It's all flabby. With it, it's nice and punchy. So now we can use it in this track. Becoming Agitated. This is based on a sound from soundtrack for Tron, for the Daft Punk soundtrack. And I wanted that lead sound. That I heard the sound, I was like, oh, that's really cool. So it goes with detune over time. It's pulsing. It's got all sorts of distorted things happening. Very irritating. But what's fun with this is that part of the pulsing that's going on in the sound is a sine wave. And I use the mod wheel to make everything go away but the sine wave. And I hear a ton of hip hop. I hear techno. I hear all sorts of places you could use this. And you can find this really cool sweet spot where it starts to bring back in the agitated synth. So have fun. Buzzy Brat, there's 3 of these. There's a single note. And then using harmony, I made some chords. I made them complementary so you could use them together. So go between the three if you want. Clarity. This is based on Zed's Clarity song, where I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's that sound, you know, the beginning of the song. It's very cool, very usable. Complex has sync and all sorts of stuff happening to it, so it's a... Okay, then there's a square version. Game Boy, go a whole different place. Japanese pop, let's go. Sorry. Star Dreamer, this is the Dreamer version. The dry version. Square dry. Nice and irritating. Love those. Minor Passion. Now, I usually don't do stuff like this because I like to play the chords myself, but there's so many great samples in Omnisphere that are chord based. So Solaris Dance. This is another one of the signature patches, I think, from this library. I love this one. That's a lot of fun to play with. Here's some more of the signature patches. I'm going to start with the one that started it. Legends. Oh my gosh. These are so cool. This takes the pulse away, so it becomes a big pad. Let's just move the mod wheel up as a pad, bring it down. Then I wanted to do it to strings. To Angels. And then after the battle that everybody's dead. Yes, I did say that. That's raining acid. Oil Can Chaos. Wait. see, it's chaotic. Plonkies and reactors. That's using the vowel effect. Careful with these. They will take a computer and make them beg for mercy. This is strings, trying to do fast strings. And there's a chord and a single. The chord. And then there's a secret trick in that CS80 strings are filtered just perfectly. But the mod wheel lets you bring them to be the star of the things. Which is really lovely. But again, this is serious CPU to do these things. Here's the single. So you can have the strings be just a solo string or bring in the synth string. Your choice with the mod wheel. Go for it. Let's see here. So accent and linger. And it's that triple feel, which is really cool. And you can make it all go away to be really dark and have to count to play that one. Air Dance is really cool. Doing some cool synthy stuff. We're in the synth category. Gets very choppy and bright when you bring the mod wheel up. Canyon of Dreams. That kind of stuff. Love it. Some of these, it's hard to stop playing. They're just very fun. Euro Res Fall. Happy Harp Dance. Okay. Happy Plucky. These are really usable. Harpy 2. Technocrat's really cool. Okay, I can't play anymore. This is rather tortured and kind of disturbed, but splashes of color is kind of interesting. Most everything starts on 1 in this library. This one doesn't. So you have a groove going. You play on the 1. That's because the arpeggiator Just and you turn off the arpeggiator, and it's a really cool. A couple more. Now, here's the Clarland Pulse. A good customer. I put a question on my Facebook page, and they replied. I mentioned this earlier in the previous video. So it's a... I made a new version called version 2, Clarland Pulse 2, where you play and it will automatically go for you. Thinking of You, this is based on a Calvin Harris track. I don't know the notes of it right now, but it's really usable. Vintage Vision, love this. Zero G Bot Party. Very fun. And then some patches that are the voice patches from the choir libraries inside of Omnisphere. Different rhythmic things. Female Breathy. Ooze. Gospel choir is really cool for the... Then there's two silver dancers. There's a more looser, simpler one. Then this one's a little bit tighter. It's got some more variations in the envelope shapes. So it's a... And then finally, this is one of the more phrase-based things in the library, a soprano singing from eh to And they're not looped. So at some point, when she gets done singing, it just goes away. So... And there you go. That's OmniPulse. A good, fun bunch of rhythmic inspiration. Hope you think that way. So come to my website and pick up a copy. And thank you for your time. I can't believe you made it through all that. And I'll see you very shortly on another video.